guest tonight is Jorene Jameson, who is a Republican candidate for Wilmington City Council President. Welcome, Jorene.
Nice to be here.
I hope I got your name right, Jorene.
You did.
Okay.
That's good.
I think we should probably first begin by my asking you, do you think you're going to have a battle here on your hands, knowing that the city of Wilmington, you're facing the Democratic machine?
Well, I think I'm facing a registration problem, certainly. Republicans are outnumbered 3-1 in the city of Wilmington. The machine I'm not so sure about. I think the primary has showed us that perhaps the Democratic so-called machine really isn't as strong as it once was. Although the machine and Leo Marshall did support the person that I'm going to be facing in the election. So I think that is going to present me with a challenge, certainly.
Do you think your opponent is going to be a tough person to beat, given his experience?
I think Jim has been on council for a while, so he's gotten some visibility on council. At the same time, I've got 15 years experience in government myself on the administrative end, and so I think that I will present a contrast to him, however, in some of my thinking on some of the issues. So I think it'll be an interesting race.
I'm just curious here. Are you the first woman that the Republicans have put up for in this race, like in recent years?
Well, for president of city council, I'm not aware that a woman has ever run, but the Republicans did put up a woman for mayor, actually, in the early 1960s, and of course she did not win, but there is some precedent for Republicans running women in the city of Wilmington.
Mm-hmm. And right now, you're the director of the Delaware Office of Labor Relations.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your work, the work that you do there?
It's a new office that was set up by the governor about 1.5 years ago, and I was on the governor's staff at the time, and he asked me to take on this new role, and I was very interested in doing it since I had some labor relations experience. And the purpose of the office is to actually coordinate labor relations in state government. We have 33 employee bargaining units, and I've been working with the various departments, helping them negotiate contracts, and I've also been working very hard to improve labor management relations in the state to get us working more cooperatively on certain issues. Mm-hmm. So it's been a real exciting job.
You see any problem areas that the city is facing at this time that perhaps if you win, you'd like to straighten out?
Well, I think overall the city has been doing quite well over the past, say, 10 years, and I'm very happy that I was part of that. I worked for the city of Wilmington for 5 years under 2 Democratic mayors, Mayors Maloney and Mayors McLaughlin, and I think the city has made a lot of progress. We're doing quite well in a number of areas, and I'd like to see that progress continued. But there have been some specific issues that have plagued the city because it's an older industrial northeastern city that I think are still with us, and one of these is unemployment. The city's unemployment rate is always above that of, say, Newcastle County and the rest of the state. So we've got an unemployment problem. We've got a housing problem. We have a real shortage in the low-income rental area of housing, and we need some innovative strategies there. And just today I talked about some daycare issues that I'd like to highlight during the campaign. I'm very interested in the issue of daycare, and I think it's an important economic and social issue in the city of Wilmington.
Mm-hmm. You touched on the housing shortage. If elected, you know, what would you like to see done? I mean, do you think we need more federal funding?
Well, that would be nice, but I think it's unrealistic. I think we've just seen a trend over the past few years for the federal involvement in cities to really decrease. And really, what it's meant is that we as a city, as a local government, we've got to shape our own destiny. And I'm not sure that's necessarily bad. And what it's meant is we've had to become very creative and innovative in the way we address some of these issues. And I think there's been an increase in the involvement of the private sector in solving some of these issues and getting them to become more active. And we've seen some innovative financing schemes in the housing area, floating bonds to make low-interest funds available to people. And I think we just have to continue to be creative.
We've talked about some of the problems here, but I guess it's fair to say that the city's come a long way in recent years with the banks and the corporations, the way they've moved in. once again, if you are elected, would you like to continue to see that kind of growth, and what would you do as president of council to try to encourage more banks or corporations into the city? That is, if there's any room left.
Yeah, we are doing quite well in that area, but I think realistically the city is becoming more of a white-collar, or as I like to call it, pink-collar economy, with lots of female-dominated type office work and the white-collar office work. But at the same time, our residents tend to be or tend to need more of the blue-collar kind of employment. Their skills and education match blue-collar needs, yet the city isn't generating blue-collar jobs. So that's something we have to look at very hard. How can we create more jobs that really meet and match the educational and training requirements of our residents? And the state just enacted a blue-collar jobs bill this past legislative session, and I hope that that can be helpful in stimulating some of this growth in the city of Wilmington.
Why should a Wilmington resident vote for you and not Jim Baker?
Okay, well, I think we need to look at the office of President of City Council and what that office is. It's not just a City Council person. The President of City Council is next in line to the Mayor. Mm-hmm. And that means, I think, that you need someone not just with legislative experience or someone who can propose ideas, but someone who has some executive and managerial experience. And I've had 15 years experience managing government programs, which means I've had to make things work, mm-hmm. and I've seen that end of it. And I think that's really where my strength is. I've managed a budget that was 3 times the size of Wilmington's budget. So I think we need to look at that. And we also need to look at where we stand on the issues. And I think I've got some differences with my opponent.
Okay, well, Jorene, I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
I've enjoyed having you on, chatting with you.
It was fun.
And up next, Bob will be speaking with a local gymnastics coach who's the president of the American Federation of Gymnasts. So join us. We'll be right back.